What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Long Island Fish Guy here. On today's video, we're going to be doing the Around the Island update for June. In the 75, we're going to be talking about the blackbeard algae that has been taking over that tank. In the 125 and in the 29, we're going to be talking about the rescapes and the different types of stock changes we're going to be seeing. And for the 10-gallon quarantine tank, we're going to be talking about the growth of those Geophagus because they are getting pretty big. Let's take a look. Alright guys, so on this 75-gallon tank, what I've done is I have taken some stuff out to get some of the blackbeard algae off. I currently have my wave maker taken out of this tank just so I can get the bad blackbeard algae off. I recently did it with this manzanita wood and it's looking great. It was covered in blackbeard algae and it's really doing great. Recently I've also taken these plants out. They all split really nicely, so I have a ton of different Amazon sword plants as well. Just fish in this tank are really doing great. There's been some stocking changes. I moved the small tilapia out of this tank and moved it into the 125. I rehomed the one that was in the 125 that was a little bit bigger. I cut out some of the plants in this tank as well that necessarily had a lot of blackbeard algae on it. So the battle for the blackbeard algae has been doing really great. Also in this tank, there's a new addition. You can barely maybe see in there. There is a spotted Raphael catfish. So tank's doing pretty well. Not going to speak too much about this. And this tank stock is going to be changing as well. A lot of these fish are going to be graduating to the 125. So not going to want to miss that. All right, guys. So taking a look at this 125, as you can see, I got some floating plants in here. It's the Salvinia plants. Now this tilapia here has been eating it, so they haven't really been doing that great, but he's still doing a great job. He's been putting on some good weight since he's came into here from the 75-gallon. Nice little update is his peacock bass. He's actually been eating pellets now, so he's put on some crazy weight and some size in the past few weeks. The green terror is in here, and fish-wise, everyone's really doing great. There's my pike poking his head out. He's always a great fish. And this four-line cat. This is a pretty new catfish I added in here, and he also has a pretty great personality. This tank, side of the tank, looks pretty normal. Nothing's changed over here. I changed a little bit of the style here just because I wanted it to be a little bit more of an open setting. The fish in this tank are getting a little bigger, so I wanted more of a more swimming space. Also over here it was a big cave where basically the hoplo catfish and the green terror would hang out and not really show, so I changed it to be a little bit more open. I actually recently just did this today. Bad news about this tank is it actually has some blackbeard algae in it as well. There was some cross-contamination. Things I've put into place to basically combat this from happening ever again is everything has its own separate systems for water changes and such. So I'm going to be combating this and starting to, treat this tank soon before it gets any out of control. But I'll be treating it the same way I'm treating my 75-gallon. I'll be making a video on how to treat for blackbeard algae, basically after I really defeat it in my 75-gallon. But that's going to be it for my 125. Now on to the 20. Alright guys, so for this 29-gallon tank, it's been cloudy as hell for the past 2 weeks. Just did my water changes today, so this tank is looking pretty clear. I did a restock. If you remember that video that I made to the best way to prepare stones, I'll put a little card right up here to show you. This tank looked a little bit different. So right here I had a bunch of rocks and such, but I found this beautiful piece of driftwood that I wanted to add into this tank, and I think it looks really nice in here. I let it soak. I also put another card right up here. Best way to treat driftwood for an aquarium. I mean, this video has been blowing up recently, so you're not going to want to miss that one, especially if you're putting wood inside of your aquarium. One thing I've also been worried about is this angelfish. Look at those markings on it. I don't know what those are. He's had him now for about 2 weeks. His diet is normal. He's been eating like, regular. And he also has that, weird black spot on top. So I think he's healthy. I don't think it's a disease. Someone told me that it might be burned from the heater here. So not quite sure. No other fish, well, one fish actually in here died That was my apistogramma, but it came from a bad tank. All of its tank mates basically died in the pet store, so you know, it's a blessing he lived so long. And also my bamboo shrimp. I think it actually might have died from aggression. So when this tank, my ultimate goal for this tank is to make it more so of a community tank. No cichlids in here whatsoever. When I actually get to be there, I'll be able to get a bamboo shrimp and it'll live a really nice, long, healthy life in here. But that's about it for this tank. Just that cloudiness, I'm not really sure what it is. I guess we'll find out if this tank gets cloudy again. It looks pretty clear right now, but again, I did just do a water change. Now, on to the biggest and best part, and the part I'm most excited to talk about, is this 10-gallon quarantine tank to see these Geophagus, to see how big they've gotten. And here they are. These Geophagus now, they are 1 month old. I think these are now 2 months old since I've gotten them. And if you remember what these guys looked like, holy moly, they were so small. Try and get a nice close-up of these guys. Whoop, gotta pick this up. So these are Geophagus Pellegrini. And if you remember in the last video, I'll even put a card up and again on the right-hand side. These guys were microscopic. They were so small. I've been putting them on a great diet. I feed them the Hikari carnivore pellets. I feed them omega-1 flakes. I feed them omega-1 bloodworms. And sometimes I'll feed them Hikari algae wafers. So I give them a pretty, varied diet, just because I want their, digestive systems to, be good when they get older. That they'll take, many different types of food. And I'm really excited for when these guys get bigger. Some of them are, that guy right there is an absolute tank. He's so much bigger than the rest of them. So it's cool to see how these guys are developing and seeing how they're beginning to interact. You'll kind of be able to see which ones are males, females, just based off of how much, the size they're actually putting on now. Also, I have a discus in here. This discus I got for a pretty cheap price, just because I saw him alone in a pet store that doesn't really sell a lot of fish. It's actually a dog store that, they breed dogs there. Not breed, they'll sell dogs there. And I saw this discus, and it was at the top, breathing heavy, and it was basically on death's door, and I felt bad, so I made an offer to the guy, and he took it. And I nursed him back to health. And he's doing great. I've had him now for about 2 weeks. So we'll see what the long-term goals are for him. Maybe do a discus tank in the 75 and, move some stock around, because I really do want to get into discus, but we'll see. But again, really pumped up for these guys, these Pellegrini fry. They're going to look so amazing when they get older. But that's going to be it for this one. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think about the fish you saw in this video. And also, let me know if you're pumped up for July's Long Island Fish Guy Around the Island update. So long, everybody. Peace out.